But let's ask the question. Let's keep on the Star Wars thing. We got a Pitt Droid announcement, and I know Kiko has talked a lot about this. And actually, as time has gone on, actually, I've started to actually believe that I think he's right about this. I'm not sure that the N1 is coming. I remember talking to Yost at one point. He was like, "No, I'm pretty sure Hot Toys is going to make it." And if they didn't, he was thinking about making it, right? So maybe that will happen for the people who do want this. But I'm just confused, Kiko. If you're not going to make the N1, why do these Pitt Droids exist? I don't understand. Like, what other purpose would they actually serve in your collection if not to stand in front of the N1? You know what I mean? Is this a good sign for the N1? What do you think?
No, it's not a good sign for the N1. And as you've said, I'm right about everything. Will. It's not the fact that I was just right about the
fact
N1.
Show.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the record. And the thing is that these were simply add-on pieces so they could re-release the R5 that had been in the coming soon graveyard for years. All right. R5 is an iconic OG trilogy droid. All right. With apparently he's getting much more backstory and such as the years go on. I remember actually it's right here. In the that's not it actually, but have you ever read the A Certain Point of View books?
No, are they good?
They're very good, but they have one from R5D4 in there, and him talking about how he's force sensitive to a degree to where he knew to blow his top so that R2 could be taken by Luke. So interesting type of story or whatever. But anyway, they've expanded on the lore of him, but that's the whole point of this figure, was to get R5D4 out there and then justify the jack up price. And they're like, hey, people really like that Jedi Fallen Order guy. What's that little droid that runs around with him? Yeah, throw that in there. We're gonna make a Cal Kestis figure? No, hell no. Just give him the droid. I'm like, okay, cool. And do people like the Phantom Menace still? Oh yeah, it's super nostalgic. Hey, remember that pod race? Yeah, remember those little guys running around? Put one of those in there too. Call it a day. That's all this is. It's just simply a way to boost the price and the desirability of R5 for people that may not want it, and to provide false hope, because the N1 was simply a marketing gimmick to sell these. They're like,
okay.
They're like, ooh, let's go ahead and put this out there, and then put show. That's what they did in the show. And they're like, hey, here we go, waitlisted. That's what happened with these, is that they got waitlisted, and because so many people thought the N1 was coming, and they can't have an N1 without these.
There you go.
Come on. So
there it is, Kiko.
I think it's a weak release. I think the price does not justify the means, because, I mean, R5 is cool, yeah, but he's not R2 by any means. I think if you saw that, people were like, oh, is this a Star Wars droid? But yeah, it is. But
yeah, I mean, I think that's as much as honestly you could say about it. It's a release, right? And it's a, I know like people were saying in the chat, it's a cute droid setup, and it is, but it just doesn't do it for me. Riley, what do you think, man? Do you think these are a good sign for the N1 being made? I mean, do you see any other reason that they possibly exist?
I mean, it's an interesting question. I'd say,
it's tough,
as Kiko's just nodding his head, no, it's never happening. But I would say probably at this point, I don't think it's gonna happen, man. I was on May 4th giving my speculation. I'm like, if they don't do it on May 4th, I think it was around when Mando season 3 was around that time or something. I was like, perfect time to do it. It would be super hype. Everyone would go wild, but they didn't end up doing it. And I think that just doing it now at this point, especially with how season 3 went with Mandalorian, I just don't see it coming right now. But maybe I'm wrong. They did do like that whole video thing showcasing it, but like Kiko said, it was just like a little flex, as they always do.
Well, you remember when they did the literal 1/6 scale Millennium Falcon 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, when's this going up for pre-order? I'm like,
10
come
years
on,
ago.
y'all.
They did the TIE Fighter too. Did you see how massive it was?
Yeah, I mean, they just do those things as marketing pieces. That's all it is, and get people talking about it.
Exactly, which I personally don't like, but I do get why they do it. It does create that kind of hype and speculation. But it's even like we also, another vehicle is the Midman, his whole Batmobile. They showcased it at some event a couple, like 2 months ago or a month ago, and they showed the photo of it like literally a year and a half ago or like a year ago, and still nothing. So can't really trust it, especially with vehicles. It's hard to produce. Doesn't know if it's going to sell well. So I think this would sell a little well, but like Hugo also said, space reasons, people love the way it looks, but when you think of it logistically in your room, getting a piece like this, you might be like, I'm actually not going to get this as hype as I was for it. So,
well, because Riley, it's interesting because you talk about selling well. So I think this would have prior to season 3. I think if you had put this up, you would put this up, because right now, think about it, dude. Think of what this is probably going to cost you. Probably $1,300 plus shipping and tax. So maybe less, maybe if you're optimistic. I think maybe it's probably going to be around $1,200 to $1,300, right? Because it's a pretty fucking big piece. It's got a ton of electronics. It's going to be a lot going on. And if it has a base like that, it could be a lot going on, right? So I think nowadays, after what season 3 just did to Mando, right? I think you'd have a lot less people signing up to buy this as you originally would have had season 3 been like season 1 and 2. No, I mean, do you think, Riley, that's true?
Yeah, for sure. I think that after season 2, the hype was just riding so high with the N1. So the fact that
Right.
season 3, yeah, it's not as strong. I mean, it had some cool scenes of him inside it, but overall, it's not going to be one for a lot of people. But the actual droids themselves, they look cool. But like Kiko said, like people coming into your collection, a lot of people don't really know. Like they're not really like that iconic enough to where people are like, oh, that's R5, like that's the Pitt droid, that's the one from Jedi Survivor. Nah, I don't think so. People are just like, oh, looks like cool Star Wars droids, but like you said, people have said, even in the chat, some people just like collecting this because it kind of represents Star Wars to them, droids and robots, etc. So I could see why some people would be for it. But for me, I saw this and I was like, oh, that's cool. But anyways, like I just went to
it's just they're accessory pieces, and that's fine.
Right.
They're good, but it's just, when people are ready to drop 600 to 700 on an Anakin, like it's like, how many of these can you buy at that point? Because at that point, you're dropping all your money on these other figures. And say you bought the N1, right? If that goes up, like, yeah.
What's insane to me is that because this is waitlisted on Sideshow, this is selling for like $450 at some of the some of the Hong Kong stores.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay. The Hong Kong
like,
resellers.
Okay.
That's insane.
Exactly. I wonder if people are actually paying that. Guys, you have to let us know if you're willing to pay $450 for these droids. I mean, maybe, but hey, to each their own. But just to me, it's just I don't sense a lot of excitement about these. That's the thing. It's yeah.